It's another movie adaptation of the short story The Most Dangerous Game. Only this one comes with a lot more sexy ladies in skimpy leather bikinis. Great greasy greetings, my malevolent miscreants. Your old pal Sugarpants back at it with another malodorous movie. And I know what you're thinking. Hey Sugarpants, you already reviewed this one. And you're right. This video is the first of 10 planned revisits of my favorite first-year reviews. So today we take a second tour of the top-heavy 1987 clumsy classic, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, the very first movie that I reviewed for my show. Hey Abraxas, would you be a doll and set these folks up with that sleaze docket?
We have 4 dead bodies, 5 naked breasts, half a cup blood, 1 cup mutant blood, 2 severed heads, gratuitous jiggly jungle jogging, gratuitous hunting philosophy talk, gratuitous space musical instrument, gratuitous jungle animal sounds, clunky post-coital cheesy talk cliche, self-destructing compound cliche, pretend sexy time, actual sexy time, robot seducery, robot-assisted assault, tompeepery, 1 laser crossbow, 1 ridiculously giant switchblade, 2 Timu Mandalorians, bra-stored map, 1 giant spiderweb, 1 magically exploding mutant cyborg, recycled space special effects, recycled props, metal pipe bashery, robot fist to the face, laser blasted robot, laser blast to the mutant cyborg, laser crossbow blast to the chest, laser ricochet to the robot chest, sharp stick to the thigh, knife to the mutant throat, knife to the mutant chest, knee to the groin, shield to the face, implied decapitation, throat scratchery, bitch slappery, and topless beach splishy splashy.
As expected from the title, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity is a very simple story. 2 hot, mostly naked ladies find themselves imprisoned by a crew of mock Mandalorians.
I think George Lucas gonna sue somebody.
They escape with practically 0 difficulties and hijack a ship from a hangar. Almost immediately after takeoff, the ship is pulled by an unknown force and crashes into a lush tropical planet. This is mostly due to the fact that script-wise, a frozen planet is a lot less bikini-friendly. It'd be a lot harder to get greasy financing dollars for a movie about sexy women in giant body-covering parkas. Anyway, the only real inhabitant here is Zed, a Ricardo Montalban wannabe with an obvious obsession with hunting who plays silly futuristic musical instruments.
Bad and you should feel bad.
Despite his generous hospitality, our ever-growing cast of intergalactic castaways feel there's something screwy going on around here. Mostly because said ever-growing cast is getting smaller and smaller by the minute. All too late, they find out Zed really gets off on hunting humans, the most dangerous game. The rest of the movie is kind of a mishmash mess. We've got foggy forest wandering, clumsy, sexy bedtime fun, hidden temple exploration, unexplained mutants and monsters. And the man who claims to be the greatest hunter takes a really big chunk of movie to recover from a sharp stick to the thigh. And it all leads to a big showdown in Zed's breakfast nook where we cram in as many available players as we can before the 2 surviving ladies find yet another available spacecraft and blast off to the stars for whatever adventure they can find. Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity is definitely not a terrible film, but it does suffer from a lack of something. It's got a lot going for it, sexy, kick-ass ladies, just a little actual skin and sex, cheesy sci-fi, a cast that takes things way too seriously for how silly it all is, an overly simple plot that still manages to throw in some wacky shit with very little explanation.
One word of advice. Try not to get lost in the phantom zone.
Not to mention a major plot point that involves seducing a robot.
I'd feel a whole lot safer with a big, strong android like you along to protect me. Of course, I haven't got a swimsuit, but I'm sure you won't mind.
I mean, why would Zed program his robot slaves to have raging teenage hormones? I can't imagine any scenario where that would be necessary for a dude living all by his lonesome.
Just slide it up in my anus there.
And then there's whatever the fuck this is. Is the mace imbued with an anti-mutant spell or something? I don't know. It's just one of the many questions we'll never get an answer for in this movie. But considering its awesome title, I feel this movie doesn't push the envelope far enough. Either a little more skin or some actual gore would have definitely made this one a much bigger hit in my books. Still, Slave Girls is an okay, albeit slow, fun time. At 74 minutes, it doesn't have a lot of time to waste, but it still does manage to waste a good chunk of that time. Some of the moments definitely drag on a little too long, as the whole movie is way too dialogue heavy for its own good. The actors were clearly chosen for their looks and or willingness to disrobe for the cameras. And in these kinds of movies, that means they aren't meant for long scenes of dialogue. Unfortunately, the talking to nudity ratio is almost one-sided. Not to mention, the dialogue has some really goofy moments.
This must be the Phantom Zone Zed warned us about.
Considerate of him not to mention it surrounds with weapons.
I have the strangest feeling the normal laws of time and space no longer apply.
It's just really sad to think that the barely verbal robots here give the best dialogue by far.
What are you doing here?
Watching her.
The master ordered you to check the upstairs rooms.
Everything at the house is in order.
Did you see for yourself?
Well, no.
I think you should be guarding the house.
You think? You've never thought for your entire existence.
You are insulting.
You are correct.
I'm going to inform the master.
Tattletale!
The truth is, this movie feels like it was chosen specifically because it's a basic story that could be molded and shaped and bent to fit a pile of assets the studio had in the recycling bin. Regular trash viewers with a keen eye will definitely recognize some of the props and effects used here, even if we aren't sure the first movie that they're used in. I will give this one a mild recommendation. Regardless of how much it comes off feeling like an asset flip, it's still got enough entertainment value for a day when you've got absolutely nothing to watch. There's also a special little place in my heart for this one, since it was my very first review for the show. Plus, any movie that sees Elizabeth Keighton take her top off is okay by me. So file away my first revisit review, kiddos, and until I grace your presence with the next nauseous nosh, this is your slimy, silly man, Sugarpants. See you in your dreams.
We've still got several hours before dawn, and we have to use them to advantage. Have you got a knife?
Only this.
It'll have to do.